She finally bought a new car after 14 years.
Yay!
So what made you buy a new car after 14 years?
The baby in the back is what made me buy a new car. That little one. For her safety and her comfort.
So we decided to buy a new car because we have a 6-month-old baby and we wanted something bigger.
More room, something that can fit her car seat and her stroller, and then we can also go grocery shopping.
Well, tell us what you used to drive.
So I used to drive a 2007 Mazda 3.
That's a sedan, right?
Yeah, small sedan, very, very small.
So it didn't really fit a lot of
yeah, it
groceries.
barely fit her. I barely even fit the stroller.
Yeah, the stroller was. We have a Mockingbird, so it's a slightly larger stroller. And the car seat.
And it was very loud. My Mazda is very loud.
Yeah. And how was the car seat? The car seat was kind of cramped in it.
A little bit. It was fine.
We initially looked at the RAV4, thinking that it was going to be what would fit us best.
Yeah.
But after...
We're also looking at a CRV. We were looking at the RAV4 and the CRV. And then as we were looking at them, we realized that maybe having a stroller and a car seat and then like going grocery shopping was going to be too cramped. And if we ever did plan to grow our family, then it was going to be even more cramped with like 2 car seats and a double stroller. So we decided that maybe we needed something bigger.
Yeah. So it didn't make sense to buy a RAV4 because eventually we're going to outgrow it, and then we're going to have to sell that vehicle to get something larger.
Yeah.
So we decided
might as well just bite the bullet and go.
Yeah, we went ahead and just skipped all the steps and went straight to the largest SUV that Toyota offers.
Yeah.
I believe this actually has more room than the Sequoia. Even though the Sequoia is a larger vehicle on the outside, it actually has more room.
We also were looking at a Pilot, a Honda Pilot.
And what was the reason why you didn't want the Honda Pilot?
It drove nice, but the interior was very outdated. And I think in the long run, we were gonna regret getting that. When you compare the Grand Highlander to the Pilot, the interior, the Grand Highlander is far superior.
Yeah, I think the interior is a lot newer. Like the design just seems fresh, and the screen it's a nice size screen.
It's gonna age well.
Yeah, it's gonna age well. The Pilot, the screen is super tiny. And you're gonna pay 50 grand for a 9-inch screen. It was super outdated. And look at this. This is, I believe, 12.3 inches.
Yeah.
So it just seems a lot newer. And to me, I didn't like the shifter in the Honda Pilot opposed to the traditional lever shifter here. This is just more natural to me. When you get a Honda Pilot, or if you're not used to the electronic buttons, shifter buttons, it's like learning a new vehicle all over again, and it doesn't make sense to do that. And I've heard issues about that, about people spilling water on them and then damaging the buttons and whatnot. And so it doesn't make sense why Honda did that, but I think that was a couple of reasons, right? Because it was outdated. Yeah, it felt outdated on the inside and on the outside. I think the Grand Highlander is a lot, like, it just looks a lot newer on the outside. And speaking of the new, do you see a lot of Grand Highlanders on the road?
No, it's very rare. It's very, very rare to see a Grand Highlander. You'll see lots of regular Highlanders. You'll see some Pilots as well, but Grand Highlander, it's like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, you don't see them a lot. When we were looking to buy this vehicle, we almost didn't buy it because there was no availability at all. And we test drove the Pilot because there's so many of them. Yeah. And we actually almost bought the Pilot just because of the availability and the pricing. So we stuck it out, and I told her, let's just wait, and then we're going to find one, and eventually we're going to test drive a Grand Highlander. And we finally test drove one at our local Toyota dealership, and we actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was nice. I was surprised we were actually able to test drive it. But it was the wrong color, interior and exterior.
Yeah.
And it was a platinum trim.
Yeah, we didn't want the platinum trim at that point. At that time.
At that time.
Yeah, and then so we kept on looking, And then eventually Brenda found a great deal on this one. And we drove
about 2.5 hours.
About 100 miles to go pick this one up. Um, if you guys want to, I'm not going to talk about the pricing in this video, but if you guys want to see or hear about the pricing, we can talk about that in a separate video. And then from there, she can talk to you guys more about what she likes and what she dislikes about the vehicle. And she can go in depth about it since she's put about a few hundred miles on it now. So, and this is, we've owned it for a couple of weeks now, I think.
Yeah, like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then we can tell you guys how, if you guys are interested, we can tell you guys about how we found this Grand Highlander and like what kind of websites you guys need to be looking on. Because they're very hard to get a hold of as of right now. It's March 2025.
Yeah.
And they're still very hard to get a hold of. Most of them are in like the build phase.
Build phase and then transit phase. You'll rarely see them on the lot.
Yeah, and so
if you do see them on the lot, they're already still pending. So
yeah, exactly. And with that, with availability, supply and demand, you're really not going to get a good deal on them. So we can give you, I guess, I don't know if we can really give you a tip on that, but we can help you out if you guys are interested on how we purchased ours. What else? I guess you can kind of go into just real quick what you like about the Grand Highlander.
Well, I mean, coming from a 2007 Mazda that I owned for 14 years to this, it's like a way quieter ride, smoother drive, and obviously all the technology. I need to get used to all the technology. There's like heated seats, and then there's ventilated seats, and also on the back for the captain seats, heated steering wheel. There's Apple CarPlay. I mean, just even the start stop. That's new to me because I still had the key. So yeah, there's
a digital cluster. There's so many things.
The heads-up display,
digital mirror,
LED lights in here are really nice at night. And the one thing about the Pilot, it didn't have the overhead vents.
Oh yeah.
And they were on the door, I think, or down here. So that's a big thing because kids, they like to have the air coming on. It's just easier for them.
The panoramic moonroof.
Moonroof. Aria, our daughter, really likes that, especially when we go through drive-thrus and there's like lights up there. So she really likes that. And then at night you can see all the stars, so it's really nice.
I mean, I'm not trying to bash the Pilot, but the issue with the Pilot is that even though it has a V6 and this one has a 4-cylinder turbo, this one feels a lot faster than the V6. I drove them back to back, and when I got into the Pilot, it felt sluggish. It didn't have enough torque. It has horsepower, it doesn't have enough torque to like push the vehicle. And surprisingly, this turbo 4-cylinder, it actually gets up and go pretty quick. And also like the storage space between the two, I think the Grand Highlander has more room. More room in the cargo area, and also like just like more room overall than the Pilot, but I could be wrong. That's what I saw at least.
Yeah. And yeah, the back space is very spacious, even with the seats up. So there's a lot of room back there. We could put our stroller back there and a couple of groceries with the seats up. So yeah, there's a lot of room compared to like the Telluride, which we saw recently too. Don't have much room back there with the seats up.
I think in the separate video, I think Brenda will talk more about what she doesn't like. With this video, we'll just talk about what she kind of likes a little bit real quick. But overall, do you regret this purchase, or do you love the purchase?
I don't regret the purchase. I really like the car. It's really it has everything I want. So yeah, it's gonna be a great car that we're gonna probably keep for a very long time.
Oh yeah, and this is her first Toyota ever.
Ever. I went from Honda, Mazda, Toyota.
It's a pretty quiet vehicle, as you can see. When we test drove this car versus the Pilot, I think this car, the Grand Highlander, is a lot quieter than the Pilot. But both cars are fairly quiet overall. I'm not used to that at all. My Tacoma is super loud because I have bigger tires and a roof rack and all that stuff. So when we were looking for a Grand Highlander, we're actually looking for a limited trim. The reason why is, well, I'll kind of go into it a little bit. Reason why is because the bench seat is only offered in the limited and the XLE and LE trims. Also, I like the wheels a lot more on the limited trim. But we decided to get a platinum because when you add all the features like the panoramic moonroof, the digital mirror, the 360 camera, when you add all of that, it almost is the same price as a platinum. So it just made sense to get a platinum just because you get the rear ventilated seats. There's a few other options that you get. The heads up display, you get that on the platinum. Actually, and you get this standard. A few other things. I can't remember exactly what you get in a platinum over a limited, but you get a few things that you won't get on the limited. It just makes sense. Just because the pricing was so close, it made sense just to get a platinum. So that's the reason why we got a platinum. But let us know what trim you guys prefer. Do you guys prefer the XLE, the limited, platinum, or even the hybrid max versions, or even the regular hybrid version? There's so many different options for the Grand Highlander. We just stuck with the basic gas engine Grand Highlander Platinum, and I think that's the best fit for us. I just want to say stay tuned for the next video. We're going to be installing some mods on the Grand Highlander. From last fit we got the floor mats and we got a dash cam from FitCamX. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys how to install each of those products on the Grand Highlander. That's it for the video. Let us know if you guys have any questions or comments about the Grand Highlander or anything in general. I'll try to answer them, so leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, consider subscribing. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Bye.